in an appropriate, appealing manner than any of this nonsense does. What it is you all know it. You all know this game by now. You need an excuse to be throwing around PayPals and Cash Apps. It's all about the people who are in that live chat and the people who are under an illusion. That is fucking disgusting. And to claim to not know any better, isn't an excuse. That's priorities for you. Whoops. Ooh, I like that beginning. Excuse me. Should use that more often. Wrong one. Excuse me. I got my things all backwards back here. One moment, please. One moment. Excuse me. Oh, but it's doing all of this and all of that. Like, it has been way back, especially in Canada. You can go all the way back to the late 70s. And the CBC used to be bad for it, even though they were better back then than they are now. But the way that they present these situations in the public drives home a real storyline. They're in business as well, except the CBC isn't a private business. It's publicly funded, which I wish would stop. But they then in turn, this is my real only qualm with society in that sense. They then turn and try to paint what would otherwise be straight up child red rum in a positive light, which really brings a dark aspect to these things that get us away from what should happen and justice run its course. Everybody knows this saying about the things that come out of the woodwork in when these cases come about from time to time. And you're seeing it, you're experiencing it. Kent and Derwood are those people. Only in this situation, we can almost guarantee that dumbass has a whole lot more to do with it, like on a felony level, than he's leading on. None of his behavior is appropriate to the situation. But poor Jack and Lily don't have anybody to speak on their behalf except me, as far as I'm concerned. And that's what makes you a good host. People want to hear shit like that. Well, there's Chelsea and Belinda, but they need some help. Very little people. They don't have a large family that are outspoken at this point in time, which brings me back to what I said about Cindy. It's fucking disgusting that you're protecting your daughter in this circumstance, even though it's heartbreaking. And you don't wish anybody would ever be in that situation. And there's probably all kinds of things that I haven't considered because I'm not privy to them. But on its bare bones, Cindy Murray not saying something out here in the public on behalf of Jack and Lily really emphasize how she felt about Jack and Lily, as far as I'm concerned. Did she love them? Then why are you protecting their killer? Straight up. Justice for Malaya is going to have to come at some point in time. And chances are she's going to get off lighter than anybody in the circumstance, but we all recognize that something other than what you guys are leading on happened in that home on May 1st. You could really help out the situation instead of harboring this broad. We don't expect you to talk any sense into her, but you can come out and spill the tea, and you can expose Jack and Lily's killer to great lengths, Cindy. You've talked to this woman, Malaya, daily, sometimes multiple times a day, all about the problems that they had. And you can start right back to why it is that you think that she felt it was okay to move Daniel in after 2 weeks. Not as though it's your fault. You can speak at length, and you may as well, because it's out now. And it would be a lot more efficient if you came out and took hold of the situation rather than us. And I don't sound like Janie and Daniel. That's Janie and Daniel wanting to pass the buck off. These fucking assholes are getting multiple life sentences. Holy fuck. None of this has anything to do about judging, but I'll tell you when we start judging, because that's when we talk about their looks, their clothes, their shitty RV. You assholes are giving us all kinds of things to judge you upon. We're talking about Jack and Lily Sullivan and what happened that night, fuckface. Helicopter Grandma. Jack and Lily never had a chance, and here we are today. It's even hard to say that. They had a chance. They had all kinds of chances. They had the opportunity to live a long, healthy, prosperous life. I avoid the cliche. The people that were supposed to be in charge of making those safety decisions for them failed them. They lied. The children don't know any difference because of how they learn and grasp, but even in this circumstance, they were so delayed because of severe neglect happening at home. You can see half the shit Malaya is preoccupied with, and it's representative of it now. And her buddy Haley sees it now. You guys are going out, she's dolling herself up to go around with you guys as a chaperone to help her hang up posters for kids that really nobody needs to be looking for. She knows where they are already. You're helping this fucking facade. Oh, we just need to keep all of this information so private. No, we fucking don't. No, we don't. Not at this point in time. How much worse could it be? We know so much about it now. I would be embarrassed to be quiet. You have to say something in your defense. Anyway, let's get this started. Cindy could come out and she could tell you everything that's important to the situation to bring charges towards the perpetrators in this, meaning Daniel and Janie. But she won't. Why? Because she knows if she does that, then Malaya, is she setting herself up for Malaya? Is she applying the laws of the sea on land here? You're really letting Jack and Lily down. You're prioritizing Malaya's freedom at this point in time and enabling every last bit of it. You could come out and expose the whole fucking situation right now. You do know, Cindy. You have a better idea, and Wade have a better idea than anybody. There's all kinds of ways that you can make public statements. Nobody's asking that you come and join a live stream. In fact, I tell you, I'd recommend you not do that. Don't do that. Nobody's looking to use you. How do we know they haven't, though? How do we know that they haven't told the RCMP all and everything? I trust that Wade has. I feel that Wade has. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I'm being too selfish in all of that and telling her to go public with it. See, if she goes, let's just say Cindy comes out and goes public with all the things that we already suspect, and it's really not new information, but only what it does is make Daniel, the real perpetrator, close up even harder and give him more of a forecast of what's really to come down the line, because he already knows what it is other witnesses are saying against him in the public. That's a conflict of interest when it comes to bringing justice at this point in time, where we are in the investigation. Although, let me be clear here. There's nothing that they're going to do or say at this point in time. It's all happened. It's all been said. It's all spilt. There's no Daniel's going to go and learn how to become smart at this point in time and talk his way out of it. Fuck, you have a better chance passing the bar exam before you get out of this one, Danny. This is what happens when you come to the police with a false report. Unfortunately. Don't mistake it for the RCMP not doing their job because they don't have them behind bars yet. That would be you not understanding the law and how police work. Especially in a circumstance like this. They can't come out and tell you exactly what's happening. Why people stick to this is these talking points is a real problem that comes from down from the mainstream, I should say. You red-rummed 2 children. You cleaned up. And you fabricated a story to tell police about the kids just voluntarily walking off. Now, it would be fine, and usually, maybe, might even work sometimes. Would go to a home for single mothers in that sense. Like, they call it the wouldn't listen home. For women who are in situations of domestic violence to get away from their husbands, okay, with their kids and have that grace period and go find their own place. She's at that point, right? But she was kept getting talked into and forced to stay and never really up to that point. Up to that point, she was always talked into staying and not really leaving. But I'm saying at April 30th was really the cutoff deadline that they listed in this paperwork from CRA, according to the Globe and Mail. So that would mean the next month, there would be no way of no money coming in whatsoever. So instead of $2,000 coming in, there would be absolutely zero. What are they going to rely on for food at that point in time? So there is definite conflict within what I just laid out there. That's not a what if or could be or possibly. That's what it is and how it is that you would be looking at. For whatever reason, likely mostly due to the fact that Daniel's too preoccupied with substances to deal with his responsibilities in the moment at that time, and just put it off to something had to happen. And look at what happened. It escalated way past the point that it needed to. You shouldn't even fucking be involved in the first place, Daniel. Now you've got her impregnated. You've got a child, Meadow, that is a ward of the crown at this point in time. You guys aren't getting any sort of custody back because you are unwilling to be cooperative in this investigation where your other 2 kids have just magically disappeared, and you want to come across with a bullshit story and clam up. You got no rights as far as I'm concerned. There's only one reason to be acting the way that you do. She could have told DM she was leaving and retaliated the kids disappear. Well, yeah, well, who knows exactly how it escalated. I know where you're thinking there, Trail Hiker. You're on the right track. You're putting together a scenario. So she just got a car. Patty's helping her with the car. She's got all of this for her own self, so she's not so controlled by Daniel in this circumstance, not so reliant on this individual having to drive her around or be with her everywhere that she goes, monitoring the situation, or as he likes to call it, just being there in case Malaya gets overwhelmed with the kids. Think about that for a second, how stupid you are even for that to come out of your mouth. That's an admission to not being involved with the kids to begin with. It's an admission to that. So you're there when only at the points where Malaya gets too overwhelmed with all the things, or is that the thing that she's complaining about? Because she could be out there with somebody else who has kids of their own or actually likes kids or didn't catfish her to begin with. Now you've tricked her in, got her knocked up. She's not knocked up because she loves you. She's knocked up because you guys are irresponsible. You got her knocked up when you were homeless. You had no source of income. But you thought it would be okay and work itself out because it would just be another child that you're not going to get paid for until you go back and file your taxes and set up some sort of payment plan to pay the Canada Revenue Agency back all the money that you fucking stole from them. That's what's going to happen. So why are you running away from the inevitable? So no matter what reason that is, it fell onto Malaya. Malaya it doesn't matter how much you promise at this point in time. Things are going to get better at any point in time, or even if the mill brings you back on overtime and gives you a goddamn raise. She still has to leave because she's no longer getting the benefits. She's no longer able to provide or support her children. She's forced to move. She's forced to go on with their life, away, separated from you. And like anything, Daniel doesn't want to understand or recognize why or what that means. He just probably wants to take it personal. Do you understand what I mean? No matter what, it shouldn't have to mean that they have to separate, but it does. This is a dangerous spot. Because it's the spot where Daniel had to acknowledge that he doesn't recognize or acknowledge the importance of the children in all of this to begin with. He never once cared about them. Okay? He didn't get into the relationship because he thought Jack and Lily were fantastic kids. Never occurred to him. Did he send that shirtless selfie in the bathroom to the kids? No. Essentially, Daniel got into this relationship. He coerced himself in under false pretense and coerced her all the way through, coerced her into staying. Think about the things that he would have to be telling her. He was doing all of this under somebody else's roof. So really, at no point in time were you ever really in control of your lives to begin with. You're always lying, always fucking over other people that helped you out along the way. And you're doing the same thing to Janie. Now you've got Janie in a spot. She was entitled to live out her life in the most grumpiest way possible.
And here's another thing for you to think about. I lived here for 26 years. I've raised my two boys here. I've been in this community for 60 years. I was born and raised here. My homestead is where my brother lives. So, I know the traffic on this road. After 26 years, I know the traffic on this road. Now, nobody is going to go by here and say, oh, there's two kids in the yard. Let's stop and pick them up. For number one, that's where those three questions come into.
So now she proceeds to undermine the stranger abduction theory, if you will. So there's no possible things left for her to undermine. Leaving her psychological environment that much more obscured. All DM and MBM had to do was file their taxes to get the baby bonus money, Trail Hiker. In that sense, and together. So now that they became common law in the taxman's eyes, and it's not like that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing. There's benefits to being married to people and having a family. Okay? Like, what was it that this asshole was trying to avoid? It had everything to do with what Wade was talking about, him owing, if it is true, him owing all of this money because he was falsely, he was working the system for a period of time, and they caught on to it. Like, that just tells you the type of scumbag he is. And just what he'll do to try to get a little bit of money in the moment. That's a total addict move. Why is my chat disconnected? Oh, shit. 3.5 hours. Oh, my God. Hold on. We got to get a drink.
And here's another thing for you to think about. I lived here for 26 years. I've raised... And as far as Malaya being isolated, that's a bunch of bullcrap. Because she used to drive Daniel to work when he was working full-time. And there's something else I'm going to straighten you out about too in a minute. When she wanted the car, she would drive Daniel to work. She would go do what she had to do. She would even bring Daniel his lunch. She would come home. Then she would go back in the evening and pick Daniel up. So she was free to go whenever she wanted to go. And another thing. The reason why Daniel is only working 1 day a week is because of this here tariff tax. The mill is having problems getting logs.
This tariff tax is the only reason why Daniel's not working. Just another reason for Daniel to complain about Donald Trump in people's comment section, for those creators or people who are out there recognizing that. Every so often you'll come across some idiot trying to incorporate or politicize something or blame him on being a Donald Trump lover in her comments or something like this. It's just something ridiculous. You know where it's coming from. It's probably that idiot Derwood or his little entourage or one of their sock puppets. But it comes, and you can hear it in Janie's voice. The same sort of argument in that sense. Whatever floats your boat, I'd like to think that Daniel's not working because he's not good enough of an employee.